So in this video, we are going to cover a sample interview question that is typically asked in a lot of quick commerce interviews. Let's suppose you are a program manager in Blinkit and you have to design a rate card for the riders who are delivering orders. So how will you decide that? Okay, so we will understand what all sort of parameters we need to keep in mind in order to decide a rate card. Because at the end of the day, every 10-minute delivery is attracting, some kind of cost, and whenever a delivery partner is delivering the order, you have to bear that cost as a company. So we will discuss all the parameters that are important to design a rate card in such a case. Okay, so first let us understand typically what a rate card entails. So rate card would contain the amount that you are paying to deliver per order. Similarly, you would also contain the amount that you are paying per kilometer that you are paying to the delivery partner. Similarly, it will also involve any bonuses, or you can call it milestones, that you are going to pay to the delivery partner. And then there will be some other form of surge charges or weather charges. So all of those things would become the important parameter in this rate card. And if you design the rate card in the right way, the delivery partners are going to stay, plus the unit economics of your company will also improve with time. But in case you are not able to, design the rate card in the right way, the delivery partners would leave. They would switch to competitors like Zomato, Swiggy, Instamart, Zepto, and plus your unit economics will also not work. Hence, it is a very important step. Let's start with the first component. So the first part of the rate card would be the fees that you are going to pay per order. So typically it ranges somewhere between 20 to 30 rupees, and it depends on the city. So a delivery partner who is in a tier 2 city like Jaipur or Lucknow or Indore would be having different kind of expenses compared to a delivery partner who is in a city like Mumbai or Bengaluru or Delhi. So ideally the costing of the per order also varies as per the city. So hence that is a range. So maybe you would pay 20 rupees in a tier 3, tier 4 cities, 25 rupees in a tier 2 city, and maybe 30 rupees in a metro or tier 1 city. So this would be the per order cost. So let's suppose a delivery partner is doing 20 orders in a day. So 20 and the base rate card is 25. Then this would basically be rupees 500. So ideally, this is the basic minimum pay that the delivery partner is going to get. Now, the second thing would ideally be the distance slabs. Okay. So usually, typically, all the deliveries for a quick commerce companies is within the kilometer radius of 0 to 2 kilometers, but some, goes till 2 to 3, 3 to 4 kilometers also. So ideally, whatever deliveries that are happening for the first kilometer, there won't be any extra income. Okay. But for all the deliveries for 1 to 2 kilometer, it could be somewhere between rupees 5 to rupees 8, again depending on the city. The this slab would be added. Similarly, for all the deliveries that are happening greater than 2 kilometer, you can assume rupees 10 to rupees 15 as the extra amount that you are going to pay. So these would be the distance slabs. Now, one very important question that comes is, why not pay a flat fee rather than making such slabs? So what happens in such a case is your shorter delivery becomes more expensive, and for your longer deliveries, delivery partners are actually reluctant to go and deliver. So ideally, that's why you should have a slab so that they are paid well in case of a 4 kilometer, 5 kilometer delivery radius as well. And hence, this is a very important step. The third most important component would ideally be that of an incentives. Okay. So incentives can be divided into two things. One is order based incentive and one is time based incentive. Okay. So order based incentive is nothing but you are basically incentivizing delivery riders to deliver more orders in a day. So there was a base pay, but you will add another layer to it. Let's suppose you say that if you are able to deliver 15 orders a day, we will pay you 200 rupees extra. Similarly, you deliver 20 orders, it would be maybe 250 rupees. Suppose you deliver 30 orders, it would ideally be 400. If it is 40 orders, it can be 500. So ideally, you are incentivizing delivery riders to work for longer time and deliver more orders in a day. Similarly, it can also be time based. So there are certain peak hours. Let's suppose 12 to 2 p.m. This is a lunch hour slot. Similarly, there is 7 to 10 p.m. This is a dinner hour slot. Ideally, the demand shoots up in such slots, but the supply of delivery riders, that decreases in such slots, and hence you are incentivizing them to, work in such slot time so that you are able to earn more. Another way to say the same thing is that you are bribing the delivery partners to stay active during peak hours of 12 to 2 or 7 to 10, such that you are able to, cater to the customer demand. Now, the fourth point that would come into the picture would ideally be the weather and the demand surge. So whether in, suppose there is any case of rains, ideally in Bengaluru it rains a lot. So you would be paying your delivery riders rupees 10 to rupees 20 extra per order in case the rider is able to deliver during rains. So what happens in such a scenario is the demand shoots up. More customers start ordering such products, and the supply goes down, and even the number shows that demand sometimes becomes double or triple, whereas the supply reduces by somewhere between 40% to 60%. So ideally you have to incentivize your riders to work during extreme weather conditions, be it rain or any other thing, so that you are able to cater to the demand. Otherwise, what will happen, your customer is going to switch to the competitor platform, or maybe the customer will stop even using your application. And if there aren't enough customers on the platform, the riders are not going to make a lot of money, and there'll be churn of both the riders and eventually the customers. So that flywheel of churn will come into the picture, and in order to avoid such a situation, sometimes even it is advisable to pay a higher amount in case of such situations. I have mentioned 20, but sometimes it can even go to 30 or 40, depending on the city, depending on the location, whatever it is. And then there is demand surge also. So in case, when the demand is too high and the availability of rider is too low, in that case, you can add some additional surcharges, maybe 10 rupees, 20 rupees for the riders. And this is the same model that, even Uber, Ola also follows. So similar thing is also followed in quick commerce companies. Even Zomato, Swiggy follows it. So this will be the additional thing in the rate card. Now, lastly, the most important step would be deductions. So ideally, you have to punish the riders in case of late deliveries and in case of cancellations. So maybe you can have some rupees 20 rupees charge in case of any late deliveries, or you can have 10 to 20 rupees in case of any cancellation. So ideally, if you are accepting a order, you have to deliver that order. You cannot cancel it because it hampers customer experience. Similarly, in case of late deliveries, the entire unit economics is built in such a way that there is a time consideration being done, and according to which you are arriving at costing, right? Which is also called economics. Hence, this is something which should be avoided, and hence, there should be a component of deductions in the rate card. Now, what all parameters do you take into consideration to, arrive at such a rate card? The first important thing would be your competition. So you go and you talk to the delivery riders of the competitors to understand what they are getting, what are the different milestones, you can even take a screenshot of their rate card. The second thing would be the unit economics. So ideally, if suppose you have to do 100 rupees GMV in a city, so probably your delivery cost should be somewhere between 10 to 15% of that 100 rupees. So you have to design your rate card in such a way that it is coming out to 10 to 15%. And the third would be your city level dynamics, or your city level dynamics data. So all the things that would come here is ideally rider density, average order distance, and then peak hour patterns. So every city has a different rate card depending on the dynamics of the city. So these are the three things. These are the three things that ideally you would take into consideration to arrive at any rate card. To summarize, there are majorly 5 layers to a rate card. One is the base payout. Second is distance-wise slabs. Third is the incentive slab. The fourth are basically the deductions that happen, and in the final case, there's demand surge and weather surge charges which you pay to the delivery rider. So one more important thing that I want to talk about is EPH. EPH is earning per hour. It is equal to CPO, which is cost per order, multiplied by deliveries that can happen in an hour. So ideally, for a delivery rider, EPH is most important thing, and you have to increase the EPH. But for a company, you have to reduce the CPO. So ideally, what you can do is you can work on deliveries per hour. So if suppose a rider wants to earn rupees 100 in an hour, and if your CPO is rupees 50, so ideally the delivery partner should deliver 2 orders in a day. Suppose you change this maths, instead of 50, if comes out to rupees 40. then you have to do almost 2.5 orders, in an hour to arrive at this same figure. So this is what you need to figure out, and this become a very important metric to track. Now, just to end up this video, we'll take a sample example also. So let's suppose a rider has to, make rupees 1,000 in a day, okay? And we'll take that around 30 orders are being delivered in a day. So we'll take the base pay as 20. So 30 into 20, that's almost 500 rupees. Okay. Now we'll take a distance base milestone, considering an average distance of every order to be 2 kilometer. So that means we'll pay rupees 5 per order for that extra 1 to 2 kilometer radius. Okay, so that would ideally be 5 into 30 rupees 150. And then we can take and design certain milestones. Let's suppose a rider is able to deliver 20 orders in a day. For 20 orders, we can take a slab of, let's suppose, 300. Okay, for 30 orders, we can take a slab of, let's say, 400. And if 30 orders are delivered in a day, so the total amount that would come would be 500 plus 150 plus 400. So that would ideally be 1050. Sorry. So this is how, a typical rate card is being designed, just one example, and that is how you can talk about it during the interviews. And these are the parameters that are really important. In case you like this video, do subscribe to my channel. And in case you want to connect with me one-on-one, I have put in a link of TopMate in the description of the video. Feel free to connect it. And then I also have a WhatsApp community channel, for which the link I am adding in the description. Feel free to join. A lot of valuable content is being posted there that I post across different social media channels, so you can track of all such content. And in case you are appearing for any other interview, all the best to you. I'll see you in the next video.